Hi Davina, hi Caroline.
Hi, Simon.
Hello. Thank you for joining me. We are recording, so please no swearing. This is a family show.
Okay.
Good of you to join us. Just for the benefit of people who are watching this recording back, the reason we've all got together is to talk about how you've built your fan page from scratch as complete beginners to the point where you've now started to build quite a strong brand on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand you started in July last year. Is that right?
Yeah, it was. It was July 2011.
Okay. And did you have any experience of using Facebook at all before then?
Shall I answer that first, Davina?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I mean, I've been on Facebook since about 2008, the middle of 2008. Not doing very much. In fact, well, not really doing anything, to be honest. I got very frustrated and annoyed with it, but I was just playing around with it. So I think it's probably true to say I have very, very limited experience prior to that.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Davina?
I had even less experience. Yes, I was on because, of course, people were on Facebook. I didn't like it. I didn't like what I read, and in fact, I came off it at one point. And it was only sort of earlier on this last year that I came back on. So no, I very minimal experience.
Yeah, and how was it that you came to sort of start marketing on Facebook? Were you already doing something prior to that?
We've been involved in doing SEO, search engine optimization things, building small websites only. And we knew that Facebook, well, we felt that Facebook was going to be quite moving apace last year, so we decided to really sort of put something up as an experiment. We came across a lady called Jo Barnes, and she helped us direct our effort into putting together a Facebook page, and obviously together with a niche. So that's really how it came about.
Okay, so prior to starting your fan page, you had no experience at all. And just winding forward very briefly, we'll come back to the beginning. You've got to the point now where you've built quite a strong fan page. You're building quite a strong brand now, aren't you?
I think so.
Hopefully
don't
so.
know. I mean, it's very nice of you to say so, Simon. Yes, we've got 1 or 2 likes. Yes.
Yeah. So it's it's one of my favourite pages. It's a page that I sort of go to when I need a graphics question answered, and I think that's probably the secret of your success, isn't it? Because that's something that you were genuinely interested in, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been interested in sort of photo manipulation and photography and colour and shapes for a long time, and I think that's why it works for us. We're doing something we really enjoy doing.
Mm.
And we're interested in. I mean, I have a particular, well, way back when, in text and calligraphy and what have you as well, to add to the party. Mm. And I think what we've both found is you have to be consistent in terms of the effort of engaging with people and putting posts on. Because we really, really enjoy what we're doing, it's really not a chore. Mm. And I think that really helps.
Yeah, and I think that really comes through on the page as well, and there's a certain amount of good humour that comes through on the page as well.
Well, I hope so, because you've got to have some fun. Life's too serious if you're not careful. So yeah, let's have a bit of fun engaging people and see what they say. Mm.
In all honesty, we're completely bonkers and daft.
Yes. Yes.
There are some who may say that also comes through on the page.
And they'd be right.
So let's just go back to the beginning. I mean, what were the sort of the technical challenges or other challenges you had in getting a fan page up and running?
I don't think we've got long enough to go through. We are not technically minded people, Simon. It's kind of we just dug in and followed what Jo Barnes was telling us with regard to technically putting the page together.
Yes.
And the rest we just made up as we went along.
well, and there have been along the way that, you know, not just the page, various things, spin-offs from it, and you've spent a lot of time on the phone to people, haven't you, Caroline?
Yes, HostGator and Aweber.
Yes.
We all need those that technical backup, don't we? So,
Yes.
in the early days, then, what sort of things were you doing? Were you doing the usual sort of free Facebook traffic techniques? Were you using your page, using Facebook as your page and posting on other people's walls and that sort of thing?
Just really following some very simple steps with regard to setting a time that I was going to spend on Facebook, 20 minutes, 10 minutes on our page and 10 minutes on other people's page, commenting, liking, putting forward some suggestions, you know, really trying to have a conversation. So it's really in two parts. Using lots of variety in terms of the posts, for example, videos or images. I did one post a couple of days ago, and it was the only one that I've done with no image. And images are really important on Facebook, and they really engage people. So, you know, that's definitely something that we've done. We've also tried to incorporate using the free software that we teach our tutorials on, GIMP and Inkscape, so that people can see what's possible with the software. So it's really been a combination of some very simple steps repeated over and over.
So just to recap, then, you've done the simple things that we're taught by people like Joe Barnes, who are using Facebook as your page and just sort of joining in the conversation that takes place on Facebook.
And also, can I add, Caroline?
Yeah.
And also, because we are teaching the software, and we do say to people, look, if you've got any questions, please come to us. We are mindful that we want to answer those questions as soon as possible. So it's part of that is part of it as well, is responding to people, and it's great that they come, because that helps us learn and are able to pass that information back on to people, and other people who come to the page and have a look and think, oh right, you do that, do you? So it's a community. That's what we're trying to build, I think, isn't it, Caroline?
It is, and one of the things that, I mean, we were just talking just before we came on about a spammer came on the wall and what that might mean. Well, it's almost like you wouldn't just go into somebody's house and thrust a business card at them. But Facebook's no different. You need to really have a conversation. It's great if you can find out the person's first name so you can personalize that communication. And so it's no different to being offline, really, except you can't see the person, but all the same sort of social rules apply, if you like. Thank you, and you know, ask people various questions and have a two-way dialogue. It's no different. Well, we don't see it as being any different to that, really.
So it's very much like just as if you were talking to someone face to face, just having a conversation and so on.
Yeah.
So, a point, just going back a little bit there, Davina, it's in terms of answering questions and so on, and using the software that you talk about yourself. One of the other things we're taught is to sort of become, or aim to build a brand and become an authority site or authority figure. Is that something that you were trying to do with your site, or is it something that's just kind of happened?
It's something I've always wanted to pass on. As I say, I've got quite a lot of knowledge of Photoshop. We're not teaching Photoshop because it's too big and this is expensive, but we are teaching the free software, and I've got a lot of knowledge and I wanted to pass it on. And so that really was the main thrust of setting the page up.
So it sounds like then that by having something of real value to offer people and share with people on your fan page, that it sounds like that's one of the things that's really helped to build that page and start building what's quite a strong brand now.
I think, yes, if you look at the successful pages, it's what value is there to their readers. And I'm not saying that we are, I mean, we can't really say that we provide value. We hope we do. And the fact that people come, I presume that we do. But anybody starting off, do something that you are interested in, learn about it, and pass that information on to people and engage with them. And you will develop a successful fan page.
Mm. The other thing is that generally people find graphics quite tricky. I mean, it's back to this thing like, where you hear people say, well, I'm not creative. Well, I think quite a lot of us can be more creative than we give ourselves credit for. But if we can help in some way to make that process easier and point people in the right directions, then, you know, I think that's great. That's what we want to do.
Mm. So adding value, getting involved with the conversation, building up a rapport with people, that sort of thing. It's the simple things really that you've done consistently, and that seems to have paid off, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we've talked before that it's not necessarily all about the likes.
No.
It's more about, you know, people engaging and sharing and so on. But they do. If you look at your page now, you quite often have people liking and commenting, don't you?
Yeah, and of course we absolutely love that, because that means that other people are coming to the page and giving some of their experience and knowledge as well, and it's becoming, you know, a real sort of pot for sharing, and I just think that's terrific.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
And I say I've mentioned sort of likes already. So when we first had this sort of conversation, I remember looking at your page just before Christmas. I think it was a week before Christmas, and you just tipped 1,000 likes then. I think it was the Saturday before Christmas. And as we've said already, it's not necessarily all about the number of likes you have, but I think it just shows people how things can grow on Facebook if you do those simple things that you've done.
You know, I mean, if there's anybody listening who think, like I think most of us think, that there's a magic wand. There isn't. I mean, I wish I'd been told that right up front when we started out, that whatever you may read or whatever you may hear, I think we all secretly know deep down that there isn't a magic sort of this or a magic that. It's just about doing some very simple things, but actually doing them consistently. And perhaps most people, or some people, not most, but a lot of people kind of give up before the effects of that effort is realised.
Mm. Mm. And I mean, you've both said quite freely that you were novices when it came to Facebook marketing when you started. Have you learned anything such that you would do anything differently, or if you were starting a brand new fan page, do you think you'd do things more or less the same?
I think I'd probably learn more about the technical bits of it. I'm still a little bit, I could do better on that. I know things about other things, but I'd probably learn about that. But in terms of the engagement and whatever, I don't think so.
No, I mean, we checked out keywords for the title of our page, because we had done quite a bit of SEO. There's quite a few things that you can do on optimizing your Facebook fan page, and you don't tend to see very much of that about, because I think it's quite new. So we could definitely continue to do those things, but I don't think we do. I mean, we didn't really think about what we were doing. We just got on and did it, didn't we, Davina?
Quite.
I mean, there are so many things.
We still continue to be honest.
And there were so many things to do that we were obviously aware of the number of people liking the page increasing, which was very exciting. But we just kind of let that take care of itself, really, and
Yes.
got on with all the myriad of other things that we were doing.
Yes.
So it sounds like then that you've had a great deal of success with your page just by doing those simple things, joining in conversation, building up a rapport, and probably above all, I think what, certainly from my point of view as a fan of your page, the thing that really works is that you're genuinely adding value. You're providing something of value that people need to know, and doing it with a certain degree of humour as well.
Thank you, Simon. And we've met some lovely people.
Yeah.
That is great to hear, and I
Yes.
do think it's important to have a laugh. Really, when you've
Absolutely.
got your head inside some technical whatnot on a computer, I don't know, and things are going wrong. I mean, what can you do but laugh? So it sort of eases the pain and sort of oils the wheels, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I think that's reassuring, and I think that's what I'm hoping people watching this recording will take from this, is that you can successfully build a brand on Facebook without a great degree of technical knowledge, just by doing those quite simple things and doing them consistently. As you mentioned, Caroline, you were doing those things regularly, daily, and you're reaping the rewards now. I mean, it's becoming quite a successful page. I mean, as we said, it's not all about the likes, but I think you've passed sort of 1,400 likes, now, isn't it? So sort of, 100, 400 or so since Christmas, which is fantastic. Thank you both very much for taking the time to join me. There's been some really useful information there. Brilliant of you to share that and help other people who may just be starting their Facebook page. Okay.
You're very welcome. Very
Thank you
welcome,
both.
Simon.
I'll talk to you again very soon. Cheerio.
Okay, goodbye now.
Bye.
Goodbye.